Well, hey everybody, Andy Kvernen here with another Cornerstone Connection Daily Devotional. What do you think of when you think of the word resilience? For me, I think of a lot of things, but I think about one of the guys that was on our basketball team when I was in middle school back in Bismarck, North Dakota. And this guy was on our middle school basketball team, and he was resilient. He wasn't a very good player. In fact, he had about as little skill in playing basketball as I'd ever seen and as I've ever seen since. I mean, he really couldn't play the game, but he was resilient. He kept trying. He kept showing up every day to practice. He did all the drills. He ran when we did conditioning. He did all of the things necessary to be a basketball player. And there was a glorious moment when he got into a game, and I remember he scored a basket in the game, and his resilience paid off. And it was so exciting for everybody on the team, everybody in the stands. We knew that he likely wouldn't be able to score in most situations, but here the conditions were right, and here he got into the game and he scored a basket. And he was so excited. Friends, when I think about resilience, I think about the passage that we're in today in our conversation on prayer. And another word for resilience might be persistence. Are they exactly the same? I don't know. But there's this parable of the persistent widow in Luke chapter 18, where this widow is clearly persistent in her pursuit of what she wants. But she's also resilient. And I want you to hear it. It's just 8 verses. Luke 18, 1 through 8. It says, "And he told them a parable to the effect that they ought always to pray and not lose heart." Okay, I think of this guy that was in our basketball team. He didn't lose heart. He kept trying, he kept going, and he kept doing the things that basketball players do. Here, and he told them a parable to the effect that they ought always to pray and not lose heart, to be resilient in their prayers, just like my friend was resilient in his basketball. Verse 2, it says, "He said, in a certain city there was a judge who neither feared God nor respected man, and there was a widow in that city who kept coming to him and saying, 'Give me justice against my adversary.' For a while he refused, but afterward he said to himself, 'Though I neither fear God nor respect man, yet because this widow keeps bothering me, she's resilient, she keeps coming to me, yet because this widow keeps bothering me, I will give her justice so that she will not beat me down by her continual coming.' And the Lord said, 'Hear what the unrighteous judge says. And will not God give justice to his elect who cry to him day and night? Will he delay long over them?'" Here Jesus is using what's called an a priori argument. It's a Latin term to describe this kind of an argumentation that gets used a lot by Jesus and also by the other gospel writers. If this lesser thing is true, if this unrighteous judge gets beaten down and is willing to submit to the request of this woman because of her resilience, because of her persistence before him, how much more will our God respond to our prayers? This lesser unrighteous judge, the greater our God, how much more will he respond to our persistence, to our resilience in prayer? And it says in verse 8, "I tell you," this is Jesus again, "he will give justice to them speedily." Jesus will listen. He'll respond to our prayers. Our God will respond to our prayers when we come to him with resilience. And then he says this. He says, "Nevertheless, when the Son of Man comes, will he find faith on earth?" In other words, God is the kind of God that does answer our prayers, that he delights in us coming to him with persistence and resilience and honesty and all of these things that we've been talking about at Cornerstone this month. He delights in us coming to him with our unashamed prayers. And often God responds to our prayers. He meets our prayers hastily. He gives us the peace that we're looking for. He gives us the hope that we need. He supplies our daily bread as we've asked him to. He brings his kingdom to bear in our lives. Often he does that, but Jesus closes by saying, "Nevertheless, when the Son of Man comes, when Jesus returns, are you going to be faithful? Are you going to keep looking to God?" Friends, be persistent in your prayer life. Be resilient. Keep coming to God. If our unrighteous judge responds to that, how much more will our Heavenly Father? You can trust him with that. Nevertheless, will you be faithful? Will you keep trusting Jesus, even if his answer is not yet? Even if you don't fully realize the answer to your request until Jesus comes back, will you be found faithful? Friends, I sure hope to be. I want to be resilient in my prayer life, resilient in my faith. Let me invite you to be that as well. Let's be that together. By the power of the Spirit, by God's grace, let's keep coming to Jesus. Let's keep trusting him for what we need. God bless you, friends. Have a great day. And Lord willing, we'll see you again soon on the Cornerstone Connection Daily Devotional. Hey, and by the way, let me invite you to come. If you're in the Marshfield area on Monday night at 6:30, we're going to be praying together as a church for the well. And if you've never come to the well, if it intimidates you, you don't think it's your kind of thing, let me just invite you. You can come and you can just sit and observe. You don't have to pray out loud. Nobody's going to stick a mic in your face. You can just listen. You can just interact. But friends, I'm convinced praying together is a big deal. We have a great opportunity to do that Monday night at 6:30. I hope you'll join us.